Our first presenter is a friend of mine who I admire, but her name is Dena McKitrick, and she's an eclectic artist upon awakening her creative expression as her spiritual quest. She's in touch with her muses. Dena is a painter, sculptor, writer, poet, singer, songwriter, performer, stone reader, ceremonialist, and teacher. She states that her life purpose is to act as a catalyst for change and growth. Please put your hands together and welcome to SoulTalks, Dena McKitrick.
Joy path to inner healing. Enter here the brave path, ethereal invitation, open gateway to egress. Discontent stirs the pot of humdrum day to day, heats it up somehow until we boil over with joy. Meanwhile, the stars rise and set each day, dancing their joy dance. Whether or not we are experiencing our storms of life, we may find exhilarating storms of hope, placid lakes of indifference, and rushing streams of joy. Still, throughout our intrepid journey, the constant love thread stitches all together in the heart. Run wild for the exhilaration. Seek joy with open arms. Keep pace within the pounding heart, and know that you are loved. Hair flying, wild as crows at twilight, children alive and adventurous, Mustang spirits leaping over ravines of ignorance, in a mottled field compelling, life saturated with grace's nectar. As you embark on your journey, on the new journey of a new habit, may the roads of intentions prove smooth and joyous. May the unfamiliar pattern become extraordinarily ordinary with ease and grace. Joy it is that marks the path. Joy it is that is the destination. I'm going to call in the directions. East. I call in the direction of the east. It is the direction of spirit and inception and epiphany. I call on the direction of the east to light our way, our new beginnings. Direction of the South. In the South, we have childhood and beginnings of that kind, but also the physical nature. And so, physical fruition, childhood, innocence. And we call on you to help us be here and doing in the now, be present in the now, help us to engage. Call in the direction of the north. No, the west. I call in the direction of the West, which is the direction of integration and emotion. It is the direction of the bear and healing. And the adult part of our life. So I call in this direction and ask that it help in our integration. Gueteo, meteo, ratiu. And I call in the direction of the North, the place of the wisdom keepers and the storytellers and the elders and our ancestors. I call in the energy of wisdom. I call in our awakening. And I ask for help with us in achieving rest and renewal so that we can awaken. I call in above and the masculine nature, the active yang part of our existence. I call in below the feminine part of our nature, the yin, the nurturing essence of all that comes to be. And I call in the direction of within, the direction where that joyous heart spring resides, that artesian well of joy that each of us has at our center. So I'm going to talk about my painting that I brought today. This is an older painting of mine. It's called Medicine Flower, and I chose it because it's all about inner healing, which is our topic today. Years ago, after I getting hit with another virtual 2x4 up the side of the head, guidance, I decided that I could achieve guidance. I could receive guidance any way that I decided to, that I could define how that guidance would show up. And so I started praying for guidance to show up as joy in my heart so I would recognize it. And ever since then, I've been filled with that bubbling joy. Even in my darkest times, even when, I was in the depths of despair and grief, I still had that presence of joy in my heart. And that is something that I wish for everyone. One time I was going through an experience with, it was kind of a dark time after that, and I was talking with this woman who also had kind of centered her life in being of service, following guidance, and that guidance being joy. And we started talking about that, and it just got higher and higher, the energy, and we were just, I was soaring in the energy of our conversation. And then, I don't know what switched, but she started proselytizing to me about her religion, her specific religion. And it was like the cord was cut. And first off, I didn't want to be sitting there being told what to believe. And she didn't appreciate it when I didn't get up and clap and to what she believed, and it ended, and I've always been saddened by that. So years later, I went to a healing women's gathering. It was a week-long up on a reservation in Nevada, all these Native American healers, and it was one of the pinnacle experiences of my life. But one of the first nights that we were there, we had a sweat lodge, and that particular sweat lodge was focused on healing the earth and healing all the beings on the earth and bringing peace to the earth. And so we were all praying about that. And the kind of singing that I just did is opening up to that guidance. It's opening, people call it different things, channeling or speaking in tongues, or I don't know, all different kinds of things. But for me, it's a matter of leaning on spirit and having full faith and allowing whatever it is to come through. And so as we were saying those prayers in the lodge, all of a sudden a song came out, and there was no stopping it. It just came out. And so all of the other women started singing their own song. And so each song was different, but they were all coming together in this beautiful way. And I had this vision of each woman's song coming, undulating and coming into the center. And then they kind of danced around and twirled around and went up out of the top of the lodge and all over the world as peace, prayers of peace. This flower is that vision, that the flower part. And as I started painting this painting, I recognized that coming from the different directions that everyone walks their paths don't all go the same direction. They come from all different places. That the people that are on that other path over there, it looks like they're doing the opposite from me. It's the opposite. But when we get to the center, when we are connected with spirit and we are guided, thank you, then we have the same direction, and we are connected. So today, what I want to leave you with is that feeling of absolute joy that each of us can tap into by simply leaning on that guidance. And especially if you pray for it to come as joy in your heart, it's really easy to recognize, and it's really easy to have. So, thank you.